Monday morning, everyone. Good morning. Welcome to Coffee with Dre. Sorry, there's activity here on the ranch, so you may hear some background noise. Please say hey as you come in. Say good morning. Whatever it is you want to say. Good morning, Miss Regina. Regina, you brought tears to my daughter's eyes. Your generosity and kindness, it's what the spirit of Christmas is all about, which is a little bit what we'll be talking about this morning. Good morning, Sally. So I just want to say thank you, Regina White. You did something you didn't have to do, and you had an impact, a positive impact. Thank you. I hope everyone had an amazing weekend. Good morning, Miss Joyce. Ours was busy and restful and crazy, but it was an amazing weekend. Good morning, Miss Kathy. Hey, Marie, how are you? We love you too, Regina, even before your act of kindness. Good morning, Laura Walsh. How are you? Deanna stepped off for a minute, but she'll be right back. There she is. Oh, look at my new coffee cup. I bought it at a farmer's market this weekend. Isn't that just gorgeous? This is my Christmas present to me. I love it. And it's nice and thick, so it keeps the coffee hot longer. Awesome. We've been looking at land in Kansas. So Laura, you never know. Good morning, Trina. Hey, Charlene, how are you? And Miss Maria Campanella, good morning. Hi, Missy. I hope Dave is doing well. We've kept you in our prayers. I'm hoping the tests that he went through show something positive. I am having a wonderful day already. I'm in my loungewear. I'll be heading to the shop in a little while. Good morning, Amy. Good morning, Miss Catherine. How are you? I'm enjoying seeing your house grow that you're building. It's awesome. So this morning, I thought we would talk about Christmas, and in relation to Christmas, talk about keeping it simple. Oh, thanks. It's pretty awesome. We went by a farmer's market. I decided let's buy some gifts that these small home businesses get together at the Justice Center here, and we decided to support them and buy some of our Christmas gifts from them. It was a lot of fun. Oh, Missy, I'm sorry. Yeah, me too, Carrie. I get a lot done before I decide to put street clothes on. Awesome, Trina. She took a tour of Grand Prairie Homeless Outreach Organization yesterday. Oh. Hi, Janet. How are you? I decided keeping it simple probably should be the theme for a lot of us this year. It's been a tough year. And I get a lot of questions about how do you make it through the holiday when you're grieving. And so we'll touch on that as well some this morning. Our amazing group of friends stopped by outside and dropped gifts off and just made our day yesterday. I was crying tears of joy to have them. It was nice to see people. Oh, Missy, that makes me so happy. Good morning, Vicky. How are you? I'm noticing more and more of us are trying to be kind and giving to those who are less fortunate than us. Oh no, you're not going to get to see your grandbabies. I'm so sorry, Janet. Maybe, can you FaceTime? It's not the same, but yes, it has, Carrie. I agree. It has been the year of, we were put in a position of no choice, it seems. Many of us were. With the political unrest, that caused a lot of angst. The COVID has caused so much loss for so many. Loss of loved ones due to the illness, loss of jobs, loss of financial ability. That's not the word I wanted. It's been tough. I know we've had our own difficulties, and somehow, we're 2 weeks away from the end of this year. Somehow we've made it. Good morning, Miss Sheila. How are you? So I kind of wanted to talk about the true spirit of Christmas. Now, absolutely, I never want to repeat 20. I want 2020 hindsight's what I want. I want to have learned lessons I needed to learn, because there were those. Good morning, my little cupcake. How are you? And I guess that's probably one of the big things for the year, that we all had to learn to do with less and have more hope and more of a struggle to find that joy. Good morning, Tom. Hi, Huff. Good morning, Kathleen and Miss Sue. You know what? Yes, the Christmas star. We had a little bit of a planet gazing here at the house last night. It wasn't the same as it will be tonight, but we're expecting cloud cover tonight, so we were afraid we wouldn't get to see it. So Jesse got her telescope out last night. We had a fire in the burn pit and had the boys over. It was nice. So we all know the religious reason for the season. We all know it's about commemorating the birth of Christ. Even though he wasn't born in December, that is really the reason, right? And he, of course, was the epitome of love and caring and putting others first, obviously. Keep my family in your prayers. My uncle was diagnosed with COVID, and his health isn't all that good. And a cousin, which is a caregiver in a nursing home. Oops, missed it. In a nursing home, was diagnosed also. Absolutely, Sherry. Oh my goodness. Aw, y'all. That's nice, Missy. Isn't that nice? Such a simple thing can bring you such joy. So, what I've been asked, and I'm going to touch on it, we won't go in great detail, is how do you survive Christmas with the loss of a loved one? How do you do that while you're grieving? And so many people have lost loved ones this year that I thought we would touch on it. First of all, the very first thing I would say to anyone, good morning, Amy, is give yourself grace. Loss is never, ever easy. It seems when it's near the holidays, Thanksgiving, Christmas, here in America, everything is about family, right? Getting together to eat as a family, shopping for gifts for family, trying to get together to open gifts as a family. It's about family. And so with it right there in our faces constantly, everywhere you turn, every commercial, every movie, everything, is about family and our close friendships. And so if we've suffered, in particular, recent loss, Christmas can be very overwhelming. You may not want to put a tree up. Decorating your home after a loss doesn't bring you the joy it used to, so you may not want to do that. You know what? It's okay. You don't have to have a tree. You don't have to have the decorations if they bring you more sadness. I have found for myself over the years, the decorating and putting mementos and things out of my children, or that remind me of my children that died in the accident, it helps me. Now, good morning, Gail. How are you? Someone else, it may be too much to do that. So there's some things that a lot of people have done over the years. Some I've done, some I've tried, some didn't work for me, some did. Very often someone will keep a seat at the Christmas dinner table open, and in memory of that loved one. Someone may put a picture with candles out of that loved one. If this brings you comfort, do it. If it does not, don't. It's your grief, no one else's, yours. Surround yourself where possible. COVID limits some of that, but surround yourself either in social media or in person or whatever is allowed with people that allow you the grace to grieve your way. Let me see here what Tom said. I'm sorry. Keep me on your prayers. 2 people had the virus at different salons, and supervisors with them, and went to my salon. Now I have to go and get tested. Now being good. Not been feeling good the last 3 days. Sending prayers to you, Tom. I hope your test comes up negative. If it does not, take care. Take care. Nurture yourself. Keep your expectations lower. Meaning, we all have these big, great expectations for, we're going to use Christmas since it's this week, for Christmas. We want the joy, of course. We want the excitement, the singing, the gifts, all of the things we want. And we have great expectations about how things are going to turn out. Maybe lower those expectations a little. Don't expect so much of yourself or others in your family that are also grieving this loss. Just love one another. And like I said, give yourself first grace. That's a difficult one to do. Very often, I know myself included, you want to suck up that grief so you're not bringing other people down. That is very difficult to do, especially in the beginnings of a loss. So give yourself grace, y'all. It's all right. You don't have to be on top of the world every moment of every day. You don't have to fake happiness for everyone else. You do you. I will remind you, your loved one would not want you suffering. So try, in their honor, to make the best of the holiday season. And by that I mean the spirit of the season. It's not about things. We forget that. It's not about the things. Some of us can afford to give grandiose things. Some of us can afford a candy bar. Some of us can't even afford that. So don't make it about the giving of gifts. Make it about the giving of love, kindness, and most of all, hope. Hope. Christ's birth gave us that hope. And then, of course, his death ensured our hope. So if we can't focus on anything else, focus on that. We have a promise. And our loved one has received their promise. And that is a gift for them. Tough on us, not on them, right? We have to remember that as well. Let's see. Good morning, Leanne. Hey, Gail. My husband's that way. He wants reminders. He wants no reminders at all. Maybe the reminders that you need can be placed in a way that doesn't hurt him. That's a tough one, isn't it? When there's two grieving and they grieve different ways, that's a tough cookie right there, Vicky. Oh, Gail, she has a tree and keeps it up all year in memory of her dad. Good morning, Nadine. Hi, Sandra Lee. Absolutely, Maria. No, everyone grieves differently and respect that. Trina, I found going to God to release my grief of the loss of my loved ones and replace the grief for a seed of blessing for others. Bless you. Bless you. Let's see. Regina White. I can't read it. There it goes. For many years, I was very sad. I have one sister, one niece, and a hubby. Everyone has gone on to glory. Small families are not as festive as they don't really get into it. But making others sparkle, make my bells ring, and gives me the true meaning of Christmas. Bless you. I'm always thinking of the less fortunate. The kids hurt the worst. They absolutely do, and children don't understand. And that is difficult for them. For them, Christmas is the same. They miss that lost loved one. And we're talking about children, not teenagers and up, really. So we have to do our best to give them the spirit of the season while allowing ourselves the grace to grieve. That's difficult, but not impossible. So remember that. That doesn't mean you have to buy them the best of the best. I went through a phase of that where I gave more financially, more things to my surviving children. I hate to use that word. Let me say my children, after the loss of their brother and sister. And then I finally understood it wasn't about that. I needed to be mom. The mom they knew and the mom they needed. Takes work, but it can be done. Good morning, Ruben. Oh, that's sweet. Yes, our lonely seniors. I think this year is going to be the most difficult on them. They're not allowed visitors most often, in particular in the nursing homes. It's difficult to go and see them even if they are in their home because you don't want the chance of carrying them an illness that could harm them. It's tough. We really got to work through this year, more so than any other. Oh, Charlene, I just read the first sentence. After losing my son, Christmas was never the same. By lowering my expectations and just enjoying the small moments, I have made it through these last 8 years. You and I are the same. It's those small moments that carry us through, and the memory of moments that carry us through. I feel the same way for 20 years now. Y'all, grief doesn't go away. There's not a magic point. It does not go away, especially with the loss of a child, because that's just not natural. But we can, I hate to say overcome, but we can overcome. We can find a way to bring joy, good morning, Teresa, not only into our own lives, but into others' lives. That is my gift to my children and the memory of my children. That's what brings me joy, and that's why I keep doing it. Let's see, Joyce. I've dealt with loss since I was 5 years old and how to go on like they would want me to. God has been my rock and reminds me of the awesome memories we had together. That's beautiful. Good morning, Carla. And I missed someone else, Teresa. Good morning, Marla. Today marks 43 years my brother passed by suicide, and I still remember that day like it was today. It may be 43 years, but I miss him so much. And that was exactly what I was saying. Grief doesn't magically just go away. Grief is with you always. you get past those initial stages of grief, and you have to find a way, dare I say it, to have good grief. Good grief is grief where you allow yourself to feel. And by feel, I don't mean just the sadness, where you allow yourself to feel the joy and to feel happy. And that is not terribly easy, but it is. It's something you have to work at daily. Let's see. Good morning, Georgie Lee. How are you? Hey, Trina, I went to my neighbors that have been shut in, giving them a small token of love with small cakes I baked. Brought them the love they needed. There you go. And you can do things like that and just leave it on their porches, patios, front door step, and let them know it's there, though. And it's the little things, isn't it? And that's one of the things we have to remember this year in particular. It's the little things that matter most. Those little things are the things that bring a smile to someone's face. Good morning, Tanya. And Merry Christmas to you as well. And sometimes we have to look for the good things, but they're there. We just have to look. Allow our mind and hearts to be open to the possibility that we can find joy. You know, and the spirit of Christmas isn't always having the ability to give, but the want, right? We can't always give what we would like to give, financially or materially, but we can give grace to people. We can give hope to people. If they see those of us who have suffered loss be able to find joy and hope, it gives them hope. They're seeing it by example. And never, of course, ever give up the power of prayer. If you believe in prayer, pray all the time. He'll help you through. He's the one friend who will never let you down, ever. Sometimes we don't get the answer to a prayer we're asking for, but he knows our need. We know our want, but he knows our need, and he will make sure that we have that. And that's really the most important thing, isn't it? Wouldn't you agree, Miss Deanna? While I have a sip of this coffee?
Well, I think when you pray for answers, I think you get your answers, but some of them aren't what you think you're going to get.
Or want.
Because he knows what you need more than we do.
Yes. And I always ask for those who are suffering in any way. Grief is not just about losing loved ones. Grief includes losing jobs, losing your home, losing your health. So many things.
Well, it loses a piece of you too.
Yes, absolutely.
That you have to figure out how to work around that, get back, or get that balance back.
Yes. And that's it. Getting the balance back in your life. Finding a new normal. That's a lesson, you know, the whole world had to learn this year. When we're in the throes of this pandemic, we all had to find a way to survive this craziness. So we had to find a new normal. Parents homeschooling their kids, or just helping their children distance learn, or not being able to go into the grocery store, wearing masks, not having get-togethers, not going to large weddings. We had so many things that were taken away for our own good, but were taken away, and so we had to find a way
to adapt,
to find balance in our lives. Because if we don't, what this pandemic is going to make it so much worse on you. So you have to find a new normal. A new normal might be having that one family member that makes the haul to the grocery store. New normal is, for me, is I couldn't go to the nursing home, or things like that. You just have to find ways around it. And again,
follow the rules
and keep things simple.
Mm-hmm.
And remember, yes, you're healthy. I am a healthy person. I live in a home with 2 high-risk individuals. I see the damage that could happen if I don't follow the protocol. Really, y'all, it's not that hard to wear a mask on your face for the good of others, if not for yourself.
Right. Hey, Trina. Tanya says, say that again, love this. I'm not sure which part.
Which part?
Yeah, no, it's like which part. And Annette says, you can have PTSD without ever been to war. That is true.
I was diagnosed with PTSD about less than a year after the kid's accident. I told him he was nuts. I was like, PTSD is for people in war. And he said, no, it's not. It's for people that have gone through trauma. And it doesn't have to be war. And it still rears its ugly head every now and then. But I have learned that's a new normal. I have learned to conquer those things that bring me down. And how do you do that, y'all? Thank you, Ruben. It's my Christmas present to myself. You have to lower your expectations of yourself as well. You know, it's hard to realize that you can't be super mom or super daughter or super wife or whatever all the time.
Or super queen.
Yeah, being the queen of joy ain't all it's cracked up to be, y'all. And the one thing I would say, though, even if you can't do all the things you would normally be doing this holiday season, it's okay. It is okay. Give yourself permission, y'all. Look for the good things. Sometimes you really got to search, but look for the good things and let those be your focus. And if all you can give this holiday season is a phone call to someone that you know is sad and lonely, or bake a batch of cookies and send them, or a text, a text. We have so many ways to keep in touch nowadays. I received a lot of Christmas cards this year. Every single one of them is precious to me. I unfortunately did not reciprocate because I just didn't make the time for it. I feel bad for that now. So that is on my list of things for next year, to not leave out the Christmas cards. Getting a card in the mail and you open it with a sweet little message. All it has to do is say love you or Merry Christmas or whatever. Doesn't that make you feel special? I guess we took it for granted all the years before, and then, the social media came along and texting and stuff, and we stopped. I think it's something we should do again, for sure. I can tell you how it made me feel to receive them, so. Yes, Catherine, thank the Lord. It'll always sort of be there, because it's one of those things that can be triggered throughout your life. But to conquer it and to be able to say that I made it, because it's harsh. My heart goes out in particular to our veterans who suffer from that. I can't even imagine. The one thing I want you to remember this holiday season, y'all, even if you've suffered loss, no matter what the loss is, it's okay to be joyful. It's okay.
Good morning, Don Morrell.
Good morning, yeah. Joy.
Thanks for sprinkling.
It's really, if you've never felt joy, it's actually really kind of hard to describe. Because in my definition of joy, joy comes from your core. It's deep in you. It's something you cultivate and work on all the time. Y'all that watch a lot know that story. And so there's always this reserve that you can tap into for those moments when you feel like you're going to have to fake it. I don't want to see anybody have to fake happiness or joy. But if we can tap into that reserve of joy in those moments, like during the holidays, when we look across the table and, dad's not there, or our daughter or son are not there, or whatever, bring up that reserve of joy and think of a memory when they were sitting there. That will make you smile. And a smile makes such a difference to you and those around you. But I want you to focus on you first. Nurture you. Give you what you need. I think the biggest thing you have to do is give yourself grace. Don't allow regrets from the past to come in and steal joy. Regrets, just, if you have regrets, just don't redo them. Learn from those regrets and move on. Guilt can rob you of so much. I felt so guilty for so long when the kids died. And it wasn't that I was there in the vehicle. I felt guilty because I thought I should not have woken them up that morning. But I did. They wanted to go into the ministry. It was important to them. But I felt the guilt of not waking them up. Guilt can be ugly, really ugly. And we have to learn to forgive ourselves. In my case, it was a normal day. There isn't anything that I did or didn't do that could have stopped the accident. But we all kind of, because we need to sort of, I guess, find a blame when we lose things. Hi, Elizabeth. How are you up there in the cold Canadian tundra? Good morning, Beverly.
She lost her son in March and is having so hard a time right now, and she misses him so much.
Carolyn.
That's a fresh one.
Carolyn, I'm so sorry. You, my dear, are still going through the worst of the grief, the worst in my opinion, and that is all the firsts.
The first, yeah.
The first day, the first Monday, the first Tuesday, the first summer, the first spring break, all the first, the first Thanksgiving, the first Christmas. All those firsts just hit us so much harder. I will tell you this, sweet lady, Carolyn, your grief will never go. It's your child. It's a different kind of grief. They don't even have a definition for the grief, for the loss of a child. But as time passes, as you make it past the first anniversary of losing them, because when you first lose them, the day that they in their journey, you really kind of go in a state of shock. You scream and cry, and yes, you're hurting, and your body feels like you're going to break in half, physically, emotionally, in every way possible. You don't want to wake up the next day, all the things. But that first anniversary, you were wide awake, you're not in shock, and you relive it. So prepare by finding those moments and comfort of the memories you had with him. My heart goes out to you. I certainly will keep you in my prayers. I'm so sorry that we share the most unimaginable. So sorry.
The first are the hard, because you go through that point when it happens, and yes, you're grieving, but you're also trying to stay strong for the family members around.
Yes, especially us moms.
And they all come together, but then once everybody kind of fades out and you're left alone, that's, I think, when it hits you the hardest.
It does. And I've said, those first 2 or 3 weeks, people are calling, they're coming by, they're bringing you food, they're sending you cards, etc. And then it's really weird, because all of a sudden, you might get one a week, maybe for a couple of weeks or so.
Mm-hmm.
Your loss is difficult on others too. They get to move on with their life as it was. You do not.
Yeah.
And so I've always said, sending that card or making that phone call a few weeks or a month or so after someone has a loss brings comfort. Because, and Carolyn, I know you'll understand, and Tracy, Marilyn LaRue, I know you will understand this too. You have a loss and you want the whole world to stop. The whole world. Everybody stop and appreciate this loss. Don't you understand what this world has lost, right? We want people to not forget our children, our husband, our father, etc.
A new person on your page.
And that's really difficult. But we can make it through. Oh, thank you, Evelia?
I wasn't sure how to pronounce it, that's why I didn't try.
Evelia. I have never heard that name. That's beautiful.
It is.
I'm probably not saying it well. I lost my friend February 5th, and this is the first, and I tell you, I cry and miss her so bad. It's been 45 years of friendship. She was 60 years old. I miss her.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm so sorry. Tracy. What? Let me go back. Tracy, Marilyn LaRue. Dre, my mom. Oh my God. My mama just passed away. Now my daddy is in hospital with COVID. Prayers, please. My heart is so broken.
Yeah.
Tracy, my dear sweet friend. Oh gosh. Tracy also lost a child not too many years ago. And that's how her and I got to be close. I'm so sorry. See y'all. I got the chills. I gotta just, let me take a sip of coffee for a second.
Marilyn says, yes, she is beyond broken.
I am so sorry. Y'all, please keep Marilyn. I know her as Tracy, but please keep her in your prayers. She lost her daughter a few years ago. I don't really remember how many years. And now her mom has just passed away and her dad is in the hospital with COVID. Please keep her continued prayers for her. Tracy, you know how I feel about you. You know you'll be in my prayers. Gosh. I don't even know what to say.
Betty Stanley. I don't usually turn my computer on this early in the day, but I'm so glad I did. I needed this today. It has helped me put my things in perspective because we were not able to do for our children like we usually do. But we have had a great time with them this year. God supplies our needs, not our wants. Amen to that.
Absolutely. Yeah. Welcome. I'm so glad you're joining us. For those of you that are new, this hour of Coffee with Dre, it's not about Dre. I'm just the facilitator. It's about an interchange of encouragement. It's where we come to ask for prayer. It's where we come to get validated for what we're feeling. Almost like permission to grieve our way, or, so welcome.
Oh, Beverly. My dad died 39 years ago on December 3rd. It is always a dark day for me, but last week a picture of my dad was posted and it put happiness in my heart.
Doesn't that make you smile? It makes me smile for you. Oh.
Yeah, we do have a private prayer group called The Power to Be You.
We do. That
if y'all want to go join, you can post your prayers, you can tell your stories. And the only reason it's private is because some people don't like to share their stuff on their page. So if you need prayers or help with anything, please ask to join that group.
The Power to Be You is our prayer group.
Yep.
And if you're not asking for prayer, you just need to speak out what your needs are. But feel free. And Deanna runs it, and she always posts positive things to remind us of positivity.
Have a great day there, Miss Marie and Bill.
Yes, Bill and Marie, love you guys.
What's he gonna say?
Oh no.
My 11-year-old grandson just lost his best friend of 7 years in a one-vehicle rollover accident. His older brother was driving and he survived. They were headed to school and my grandson was supposed to ride with them but didn't.
That is tough.
And Jeannie says, hello, Dre. My son Rob's birthday is Christmas Eve, and this is my 3rd year without him.
Aw, Jean, so sorry. You see, guys, you just never know what someone is going through. So remember to be kind and give people grace. And you don't have to give things. Give love. Give attention. And also allow them to grieve their way, please. What?
Trina, please pray for Clayton Harrison. He's still in the ICU because he was poisoned. He is only 27 years old. He got brain damage.
Oh my gosh. We got lots of praying to do, y'all. It's a private group. Deanna will allow you in.
Yep.
We also do it to protect ourselves a little bit. Like here on Coffee with Dre, we work really, really hard to not allow ugliness, negativity, trolls, all that kind of thing here. You have to feel safe to have these kinds of discussions we have. So the Power to Be You is a place where you can feel safe. Sometimes purging is a good thing. And we want you to feel safe doing that.
I'm going to put out his thing later.
Aw. Carol, wish I could move on. It's been 4 years since my husband passed, sick for 3.5. I feel bad because people lost children and I can't move on. Carol.
Carol, it's hard. My husband passed away 3 years ago, November 29th, on our 24th anniversary. And he'd been sick for over 10 years, progressively getting worse. I go through my good times, but I notice still right now through the holidays, and I think what I notice the more is when I'm with a group of people, family members, and I see them with their spouses and their kids and they're having fun, you kind of feel like, it's like, man, look at everything I'm missing. If only he was here. So every now and then for me, that still gets hard, and I'll go in another room or I'll go do something else. It's going to take a process. It's a process.
And also, Carol, there is no rule about moving on.
No.
Move forward.
No grief is worse than any other.
Yes. Really. And my grief is no worse than your grief. It's grief. It's loss of a loved one.
Mm-hmm.
So don't feel bad at all.
No.
We're going to keep you in our prayers. One of the things that I had to work really hard on, still do sometimes, is like feeling like I should be further along. I mean, look how long it's been, right? No. But when I start feeling overly sad, that's when I always remind myself, same little thing. They would want you to be happy. They would want you to live your best life possible without them. If you enjoyed the holidays together with them, they would want you to continue enjoying the holidays.
And it's not moving on, it's moving forward.
Yes.
I will when I'm ready.
Do I have time to take a shower?
Yeah.
I meant before work.
Yeah, go ahead.
I smell like a horse.
Yes, Beverly, we are going to say some serious prayers today. And that doesn't mean it's easy.
No.
Even those reminders to yourself. And look, 3 or 4 years, the older we get, the less time that seems to be. You must have had a great love to struggle, to move forward. And for that, you were blessed to have him and have that kind of love that it's that difficult. And letting go is not a requirement. Really, it's not. It's your grief. I get so tired because I read a lot of things thinking, am I saying or doing the right thing? I hate that grief professionals, counselors, etc. tell us what stages of grief we need to suffer, in what order, how to grieve, when to move on. Y'all, first of all, you're never going to move on from that person.
No,
They're always going to be with you. Always.
The ones
So
that
you're
say get
not
over
moving
it
on.
and move on.
Get over it.
That's the
It's
ones
time
we
for you
wanna
to find
smack.
a new love. What? For me, it was, you have other children, right? I'm sorry, they're not interchangeable.
Mm-hmm.
So, don't listen to people. You grieve your way. Oh, Nellie knew Carol's husband. He was such a great guy, and I'm glad I had the pleasure of working with him.
Mm-hmm.
Prayers. Hi, Josie. Oh, see, that's so nice to know. But to have had that kind of love in your life, you truly are blessed. And I want you to remember that. And I'll bet you, he would want you to find a little joy in the holiday. Just a little. Eventually it becomes easier. It never goes away. I'm sorry. I wish I could wave my magic wand and tell you all that grief has a time limit. No, it doesn't. Some people are able to move forward quicker than others. Doesn't matter. You do you. Uh-oh. And again, joy, to me, joy and happiness are two different things. You would find people that don't believe that, but this is me. Yes, we'll say our prayers for Amy as well. Oh, I love the conversation her and Nellie are having.
Mm-hmm.
Karen Wilson, I lost my husband 2.5 years ago. My children and grandchildren have got me through it, all this.
Yes.
We always talk about the silly things that we remember about him to bring us joy. Wow, Karen. And isn't that a great, it's what's the word? This speaks well of your husband as also,
mm-hmm.
and your family. And what I mean by happiness and joy being thanks, Ted. Hi, how are you? Joy to me is more internal. It's something you can build. The more joy, the more I can find joy, the more I can keep and cultivate that joy, the easier it is during the more difficult times. To me, happiness is more external. Like, I'm so happy I got this mug for myself this weekend, right? Does it bring me joy? Well, heck yeah. But I'm happy about it. So that's external. So sometimes we find the need to fake. You can't fake joy, y'all. That's inside. But you can fake happy, right? But I don't want you to feel the need to fake. Be you. If you're having a difficult time over the holiday and you're with your family and they're like, there she goes again, tell them how you're feeling. Explain it to them. Even if you cry through it, they need to know. Very often people who have not suffered a loss of any, and I don't just mean a physical loss of a loved one. If someone hasn't suffered financial struggle, they have no comprehension. They don't get it. And sometimes the higher we are, well, always, the higher we are, the harder we fall. So hopefully they don't ever have to suffer loss of any kind. But we need to let them know how we feel, because they don't get it. And they might not still get it, but at least you were able to say, hey, this is how I'm feeling, and I need you to respect that. Or else, or you're leaving my home. Whatever.
Yeah, I talked to Mom the other day, and this will be her first official Christmas without Dad in 56 years.
Wow.
Yes. It would have been their 56th anniversary in November. And she had a hard time with that.
And Deborah's grandmother is having a very difficult time. They had that tragic accident towards the end, sometime mid-October, and Jim passed away, and they were married 60 years, y'all. And she's doing okay. Deborah's there helping her, learning to focus on, what you need to focus on. But she doesn't want to have a Christmas this year, so there's no reason for her to be forced to have it.
Let her do her.
Yes, Beverly.
That is true.
Karen, we had been married almost 50 years.
Yep.
That's a testimony to y'all.
Yep.
Hang tight to the good memories and let go of the bad, and forgive yourself. Helps with easing the pain of loss. Absolutely, Beverly. That is something. And divorce is, well, Beverly, to me, divorce is like a death.
Yeah.
I am in no way comparing that with the loss of a loved one. Don't misunderstand. Because divorce is a choice that either you or they made to end a love relationship. There's a chapter in the book coming soon, I promise, about my divorce, a divorce I did not want, a divorce I didn't deserve. Divorce is very difficult, in particular, not just on women, but I'm a girl, so I understand better the way a girl feels. In particular on us, our generation, late 50s into the 60s and up, our generation is among the last where marriage was supposed to last an eternity. When you say I do, it was till death do us part. It just wasn't, and especially after long-term marriage. It is difficult. It is a big loss. And you have to learn a new normal. And you have to let go, literally let go of someone you thought you'd live your future with. Your whole future leaves in a divorce as well. So there's a very long grieving process with divorce as well. The good news is you're not suffering the physical loss of a human being.
No, but you have that anxiety of the grieving that you're going through, and say you're at a store and you see them off at a distance, and it's like a constant reminder, so to speak.
Especially if you had children together.
Yeah.
I know for me it was really difficult. And my ex got married a month after our divorce. What does that tell you? Anyway, he got married a month after the divorce. I had a difficult time with that because it seemed to minimize our relationship for me. Not that he thought it that way or anything. By the way, we get along now. I'm glad they're happy. They've been married 7.5, 8 years, something like that. I'm glad they're happy. It's all I ever wanted for him anyway, was to be happy. So I don't harbor any animosity. But even though I'm in a happy marriage, you still have those little... And it's funny because during Christmas, you are going through your ornaments, and at our age, you probably have a lot of ornaments that you get collected over the years. And a lot of those ornaments hold memories with that ex. Now, this year, I did not pull that box out of our previous. I did something completely different. I didn't hang ornaments the kids had made over the years or anything. Like I said, I did something completely different. It was a little bit odd. But so Christmas is difficult on people that have gone through divorce as well. You have something to say?
Don says, forgive and forget is what I always say, because you never know when it's going to be our time to go.
Mm-hmm.
So make sure you let everyone know you love them every day, friends, families, or even people you think of as an enemy. Those 3 words mean the world to some people. I love everyone.
Well, and you surely, when your journey in this world ends, you don't want to leave a path of, oh my God, did she love me or not? I'm not sure how she felt about me. You want to leave their last memories of you with knowing that you love them.
And Karen says, the live crafters have brought me through the dreary days of winter. Is like being with someone and can commit to participate. That is true right there. Crafting and watching crafters and stuff, that is a therapy.
And commenting really
yep.
helps.
Yep. Yeah. Misty says, divorce is a choice and the kiddos struggle with it forever. I'm an adult child and still struggle. Was raised to honor my mother and father, but so hard when you learn truth after being sheltered from the truth of an ugly while being a child, what was going on in your home behind closed doors. Hard.
Yeah.
Amen to that.
Yeah, my parents divorced when I was in my early 20s, and it was a struggle. And I even knew some of what was going on, and it was still a struggle.
All right, Sandy said, this is a long one. Last night we shared all the memories of many families and friends we have lost in the past, but today I have joy in my heart as many were there 35 years ago tonight as I marry the love of my life. I have to thank God for getting us through almost losing him 2 years ago. A renewal vow ceremony was to be tonight, but as we know, circumstances canceled. Instead, Bill and I will witness the Christmas star and know we have many more years of blessings to come. We pray for all of our old and new friends to have peace and joy in their hearts and cherish their memories.
That is beautiful. Thank you.
I know, Vicky, right? Said divorce is hard, but in my case, it was a blessing. I was able to meet my current husband and have 2 wonderful boys. My ex and I did continue as friends.
That's tough.
Yep.
Being friends with your ex. In my case, we get along fine. His wife doesn't allow us to really be friends, for her own reasons. I am not cutting her down for that. We are who we are, but there is some comfort that comes in forgiving, and I had to forgive him and me in order to move forward after the divorce. I really did. I had to say, okay, whatever I did wrong, whatever he did, whatever allowed us to go through, it was really ugly the last few years. I'll admit that. Whatever took us through there, I have to let it go and forgive. For me, I don't want to be that bitter old woman. I have had that bitter old woman in my family, and the sad thing is she's long since passed away. And my memory of her is clouded by the bitterness with which she lived her life. So I did not ever want to be that. So that is why, not because I'm so great and wonderful, but because I didn't want to be her. So remember that too, to forgive.
Yeah, and there is a difference between forgiving and forgetting.
Yeah, well, God don't expect us to forget. I mean,
that's another one of those things that when people say, like, when it passes,
forgive and forget,
or get over it and move on. Okay, those are 2 of my pet peeves.
Well, and if by forgetting you mean not letting it consume you, absolutely.
Okay, that's one. Yes.
Yes. However, sins are revisited if we forget. So, and some things where people have sinned against us are so heinous. There's so many bad things that people have done to others that even when you forgive, you still feel pain.
The hurt of it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But forgiveness is more freeing for us than them.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
There you go, Misty. I love it. I forgive, but I won't let the pattern repeat on my children, so I sheltered them. Keep at arm's length and choose joy.
Amen, Regina.
When a relationship starts on a lie, how could anyone trust that partner that partook in the cheating? That's why they have insecurities of communication of the ex.
That is so true.
You said it, Regina.
And
I can't say that out loud.
It is true. It is true.
Yeah.
Well, that was funny about when I got together with Earl because he had been married 5 times before me.
You finally got it right.
Obviously, thank you. And people would always say, but he's been married a lot. And it's like, okay. Well, aren't you worried about that? Aren't you insecure? And it's like, no. Why? Well, I would be, that he'd be out cheating. And it's like, okay, we work together. We're with each other all the time. If he was making excuses to want to go somewhere or something, maybe, I might think about it and follow him, blah, blah, blah. Never happened. Never happened. So it's possible.
Story. It is possible. And if you can't, when we go through a divorce, if we have to find a way to let go so that we can grow as an individual and remember who we are. And it also opens opportunities and possibilities.
Makes you stronger.
And you get to meet new friends. You have old friends, but you get to meet new friends. And there's so much joy in that. Evelyn. I can't read it all. It won't let me hit the...
My parents divorced when I was 8. I'm 73 now. And for many years, my mother and I didn't get along because she walked out on my dad and left him with 4 children to raise.
Wow.
It took me many years to forgive my mom and understand that it wasn't our fault she left. When I realized that you never know what goes on behind closed doors in a marriage. And that is true. We don't, because back then, they didn't tell what went on.
It was behind closed doors as well.
And a lot of the kids in that family did not know what was going on.
Mm-hmm. It's true.
Misty says, my 22-year-old daughter this year wanted our tree decorated with all the keepsake ornaments. We had a wonderful time decorating and reminiscing while decorating. Having that time together was priceless to me. Amen.
That's a good memory. You'll hold that forever, girl.
Yep.
So I guess the key is, no matter what you're grieving the loss of.
Carolyn, you did the forgiving part. The rest will come.
Don't forgive. Don't forget.
It'll become a distant memory, and it'll pop up occasionally, but it won't be as painful or hurt as bad as time goes on. Mm-hmm. It's just like grieving.
It is grieving.
A period.
It's a different kind of grief, but it is grieving.
So don't beat yourself up for that.
No, girl, and don't let other people beat you up.
No.
And if they do, walk away.
Yep.
Tell them no.
Find that inner strength and say, well, no, I can't say that right now, but
it's Monday morning. We won't chat. We won't say those words.
Yes.
Yes, Carolyn. Don't let others make you feel like you're not allowed to feel the way you're feeling.
Yep.
Do try to find some joy, though. Really, it's there. Sometimes we have to look harder than others.
Here with us. She's finding some joy this morning.
That girl, that woman.
She don't know what to do with me.
I always tell people, be sure to nurture yourself.
Yes.
Do self-care. Buy yourself that coffee cup. I did. No. Enjoy a movie. Relax. Keep things simple.
Go eat that piece of chocolate you've been wanting.
Yeah. It's okay. It's like the doctor told me. I said, I don't want to give up all these things, he said. And I repeat this all the time. You can have a piece of cake. Just don't sit down and eat the whole thing.
That's right.
That's where we get lost.
Yep.
So, have the cake. Enjoy the moment.
Tom says, everyone have a safe week. Merry Christmas.
Oh, thank you, Tom.
Jesse said, should I record this to show you later, Mom?
Oh, was that about self-care and relaxing?
Probably.
I work at it. I've done so much better of late. You got your toes done.
Monkey,
That's no fair. I just get mine done. It's been since February.
I just wondered why your feet were bagged.
They were getting soft.
As long as they weren't cement slippers.
That's right, Misty.
Yes.
They no longer have a hold on you. I've often said when people talk ugly about you, it happens when you're in a public forum in particular. I know Monkey's had this problem. People talk about you behind your back,
Yeah.
and say these ugly things or use your name to say ugly things that are not true 99% of the time. If anybody says anything that I said that was ugly, you message me. If I said it, I'll admit it. If I didn't say it, I'll just tell you.
Yeah, and if you're afraid to message her, message me, because I've heard things that have been like, well, Dre said this, and it's like, I have never heard those words come out of her mouth.
And it's funny because they use words I wouldn't say.
Exactly.
But anyway, so they talk about you behind your back. They're stabbing you in the back, and they've moved on. And you grab a hold of that knife and you just keep reliving it and keep reliving it. So you're now what? Yeah, you're the one stabbing yourself with their ugliness that they've already walked on with, and left you with. So it's important to put that stuff away. Just let it go so that you don't live your life miserable. So you have to forgive what they've said or done and move forward. Or else you're reliving it yourself. That then becomes, it's on you. And then you have to adjust your reaction and how you handle these things. It's not all easy, y'all. I am certainly not saying it's easy.
No.
It is not. It is so hard. And this is so much simpler than the things we were talking about earlier, but it is so hard to move forward when someone has tried to defame you, to start a rumor about you, make you look bad. Aw, hi, Kaysen. It's hard because very often you don't know why, and and I know most of the time it's jealousy. I do know that. But it is hard. And that's why it's so much more important that we learn to let it go. Talk to a friend, a trusted friend, and let them remind you of the good in you. Good morning, Leah. How are you this morning, girl?
You got your pot stirrers. Don't let them get you into a boil. Just lower that flame and learn how to turn that flame off.
Sherry says, here we go with the sun.
Can you get it?
My parents divorced when I was 8, and it was very difficult and painful. I also went through a divorce myself after 22 years. The best thing out of it was my 3 wonderful boys. It was a bad relationship, but through it all, God had other plans. I met an amazing man, and we have been together for 8 years now. It's amazing how when you're not looking for anyone, that God knows when the time is to bring joy and love into your life.
Amen to that.
Absolutely, Sherry. That is beautiful. I imagine that wonderful man's name is, I don't know, Kevin?
Betty Stanley says, you have been a true blessing today.
Thank you, Betty. You are each and every one a blessing to me. Sometimes this is more for me than for y'all. Yes, Missy. I know, Melissa. I know. You've been through some bad backstabbers. I'm happy to see you too, Leah. We'll have to do it in person very soon.
I know, Monkey. She says, I have my say and move on. It just speaks volumes about the person spreading their lies.
Absolutely, it does. And, a lot of people, and actually Michelle and I have talked about this, a lot of people expect us to stand up and defend ourselves against this malicious talk. You know what? I feel like that brings me down to that level.
Just makes us one of them.
And if somebody's lying or taking a seed of truth and growing this crazy grapevine of BS, I am not going to reward that behavior with a commentary. I'm not going to defend BS. I wanted so bad to say it. I'm not going to defend lies. I'm going to move forward, leave them sit there, let them ruminate in their own BS, marinate. Yeah. Ruminate's a whole other thing.
Yeah, I know.
Let them marinate in their own BS and their own sadness and their own anger and their own meanness. And I'm going to keep choosing joy, y'all. Yes, it gets me down. I'll call a friend or talk to Deanna since she's right here, or talk to one of my girls. Say, this is what happened and here's how I feel. It's a little more involved than that, but that's the basics. Okay, I feel better. I can move on now. Good morning, Fredna. How are you?
Did you want more coffee?
You were eating barbecue in Lockhart? Oh, it was the memorial. I'm sorry. Please?
Just pour it in.
Yes, ma'am. See, Melissa went through a lot of ugly backstabbing stuff a while back, and she's found new friends that bring her the joy or the happiness that allow her to find the joy and feel the joy in her core. And that really is a blessing right there, right? And sometimes people come into our lives and we are their lesson. Sometimes they come into our lives and they are our lesson.
Well, she's been my lesson, all right.
So in a way, even the friends that we lose are a blessing. I know, that's tough. The friends that we lose due to whatever BS is going on have been a blessing.
Come on
and
down,
we should
Jan.
never wish harm on them. I don't. I pray for them, actually. And pray for me to not harbor anger or upset with them. I have to pray for that. Y'all, you know, I ain't perfect either.
Okay, y'all gotta remember, we're human.
We are human.
We go through those things. It's just if you dwell on it longer than you should.
Mm-hmm.
But don't beat yourself up for being human.
Right, Amy. And friends that have stuck with her, absolutely. So y'all, I hope you have an amazing week. Those of you who have suffered loss and are having to face the holidays either alone or without that loved one, please find peace and comfort in the moments that you shared that left memories for you to hold on to. Please allow those to bring you that comfort. I will certainly pray for you to have some peace and comfort. Remember that Christ's birth was a promise for us. His death sealed that promise. So don't forget that during the holiday season, to be thankful. Even in the moments of loss, had he not been born and gave the ultimate sacrifice, we would not have the guarantee of seeing our loved ones again. But we do. So let's be thankful for that. Find some peace and comfort there. Keep looking for the good things. Keep looking for the good things. And keep things simple. And most of all, believe in the magic of Christmas. Believe in the spirit of Christmas, however you want to look at it. I believe in Santa, but that's just me. And allow the Christmas spirit to keep you wanting to give to others. Just a moment of your time may be all they need. So y'all have a very Merry Christmas this week. Never give up your power. The power to be you. And in that power, it's little hairs that I keep doing, y'all. I'm not crying. In that power is your ability to make it through the unimaginable. Use that power for good. Good for you and for good for others. And I need for you to use a little bit of that power. You're so welcome, Regina. A little bit of that power to always, always, always choose joy, y'all. Merry Christmas, and I'll see you next Monday. Bye.